Greetings and welcome back to Becoming a Published Author is Fun. We're in episode 8 and we're going to look at this idea of fun. Why is being a published author fun? So we're going to look at that right here. And the first thing I want you to see is it is not all work. It's simply not. And so I'm going to give you some examples about this. First of all, let's look at first things. The first thing that I did when I got my first book, and I got my copies in my hand. Actually, the very first thing that really meant a lot to me was having that first book in my hand. So there was that. We'll just put a dot there. And we'll just say first. I would put hand. Having it in my hand. That really meant a great deal to me. Having it in my hand. It was just, and every time I write a new book, I don't care if it's a journal such as what I have right here, a journal that I put together, a journal that I use, but when it was in my hand for the first time, it was just a blessing, a thrill. And it happens every time I get a brand new book that I have written. And if you're an author, you probably have experienced the same thing. If you haven't been an author and you want to become one, when you do, you will know what I'm talking about. But okay, I had it in my hand. The next thing I did was I gave a copy to my pastor. And that's a story in itself. But then what I did, I sent a copy to a Christian college, the president of a Christian college. And he is a person and he's retired now, still associated with that college, and he still does what he did back then, which was he would come to our church, and other churches as well, but our church, he would come to our church right around Thanksgiving and have a revival. And it was anywhere from 2 or 3 days to maybe a week. I don't remember the time frame altogether, but it was always, we always looked forward to him. He was a good preacher, and plus he was a very good president. He built that college in a way. It was already in existence when he took it over, but he took it to new heights. And so now he's retired. But what he did at the time, when I sent him that book, he read the book. And how do I know that? Because he, in a phone call that he had with my pastor sometime later, he said to him that I am a romantic writer. And so my pastor brought that message to me. I was working at the church at the time, and he brought it to my office, and not the book, but he brought the message to me and told me that I'd been called a romantic author. I had never thought of that before. But when you look at my books, I try to bring characters alive, and one way is through romance. I use romance as a tool in my books. So I don't write romantic novels per se, but you're going to find some romance in my novels. And so I was very excited about that. That was a fun thing. But then came when this college president came to do his revival. And he took me aside while he was there, and he said to me, Ron, keep writing. We need Christian writers. Actually, what he said is we need good Christian writers. That meant a ton to me. I have never forgotten it, and if I ever get low, all I have to do, I can remember that, and that is an encouragement to me to keep on going on. Or some of what they say nowadays, keep on keeping on. So that was one of the things. So I got praise. Whenever you get praised by somebody, that's a good feeling. That's fun. So another thing that I got at that time was money. What else we'll put down? Money. Lack of a better word right now, we'll put down money. I got paid for my books. Can you imagine that, getting paid? You write a book, you get it published and everything, and and you're so excited about it, and then somebody wants to pay you for it, that's exciting. Now, obviously, you arranged it so that you would sell it for a certain price, but still in all, the whole concept is something it just thrills you, it excites you. And it may be your first book may only be a few dollars, or it may be in double digits or higher. Whatever you are selling it for, that's not the important thing. It's important at the time, maybe. But what's important is that you are selling your book. You are bringing in money. You are having sales. That's the other word I was trying to think of, is sales. And people are buying your book. Then there comes, so that's the first things. But that's not the only reason why we have fun. So I'm going to check on, we're done with that. Royalty payments. Can you imagine that? The people will go and shopping on the internet, and they will find your book, and they will buy it online, and then that whoever they bought it from will then pay you a royalty for it. Wow, that's fun. Getting those royalty payments. That is fun, and you can get them. Well, first of all, there's that first one you get. It may be a paycheck, but nowadays it's more than likely direct deposit. But you can always take a picture of it, a screen picture, or you can save the image and so forth. But you can save it to your computer, and that first one means something to you. Then there's the idea of monthly, depending on how often you make sales. Now, I'm not talking about off your website. I'm talking off their website, whoever it happens to be you're doing business with. So they might pay you on a monthly basis. Some of them may pay every 2 months or every 3 months. But there'll be a consistent basis in which they're going to pay you. That's fun. That's a lot of fun when you start seeing that. And you start seeing money coming in. Again, I'm not going to focus on the amount. You're going to start out, it might be small, but as time goes on, it might very well grow and grow and grow higher. So royalty payments, that is great. Then there is the matter of reviews. And there are 5-star reviews and there are bad reviews. So let's first of all look at the 5-star reviews. I've gotten 4 and 5-star reviews. Those are treasures. And I posted them. And so some of the 5-star reviews I've had, I can remember. There's one particular one that I really remember. And this lady I sent her a free copy, and she read the whole book, and then she gave it a 5-star review, and this is what she said. Now, I don't know if I have room here. I'll try this. But it brings the Bible alive. It brings the Bible alive. So that was a very big thing. I've never forgotten it. And it's true. That is one of the goals that I have. That's one of the things I work at, is bringing those characters alive. Not just the main characters, but even the bad ones, the indifferent ones, whatever. I want them all to be real so that the reader can identify with them. And sometimes I've actually, in one of my books, I actually asked different people who I knew had read the book, well, who was your favorite character? I had in my mind who would be the favorite character, but some of them actually chose somebody else. So you want to have your characters alive, believable. So that is one of the things I got. But the other thing I got was a bad review. On one of my books, I got a terrible review. I got 2 stars. Now you say, well, you probably got rid of that one. No, I did not. And I will tell you why. The guy who gave me this bad review professed to be a Christian. I have no reason to doubt it. So he requested a copy of the book, and I sent it to him, always free. I don't believe in paying people for a review. It looks bad. It may even be unethical. So I just stay away from it altogether. But I do give them away for free, and a person reads it, they're under no obligation to give me a 5-star review. So that was perfectly legitimate for him to give me a 2 2-star review, except for why he gave me a 2-star review. You see, what he did is he went through and started reading the book, and then he began skipping through the book. And he didn't even finish the book. Now, before I go any further, that is a major no-no. If you're going to review somebody's book, you read the entire book from the first page to the last page. You don't skip. You don't quit before it's done. You read it to the very last page. And that may have some consequences that you don't like, but if you're planning on reviewing, you do the whole thing. If you're not going to review the book, you decide not to, then you can quit. But usually, if you've offered to do somebody's book, you might be going through a service in which there's no communication directly between you and the author, and so you could be able to quit in that case, and you just don't simply do a review. But if you commit yourself to doing a review, whatever that review turns out to be, you are committing yourself to finish the book and no skipping. What I had done is this was a Bible-based book, and the Bible, in the book of Genesis, a lot of the characters have the same name, exact same spelling, everything. But they're different. Different personalities, different locations where they lived, different life experiences, everything. So he would hit that one character, and then later on he'd hit another character, the same name. Now, I went to a great deal of trouble to make sure that you would not confuse one for the other. But by skipping, he missed all the work I did and came across something, and he said, oh, that doesn't agree with that one. Oh, this guy's messing up his characters. No, I wasn't. He was messing up his reading. And he went through the whole book. Well, he didn't go through the whole book. He went through a portion of the book and then quit. And he quit because of bad information he had. He started out reading it, and he came to a wrong conclusion on something. And then from that point on, he started skipping, and he totally missed it. And so the whole thing was, it ended up me getting a 2-star review. I left that 2-star review up. Why? Because when people saw that 2-star review, and then they saw the 5 and 4 stars for the same book, now they look at this book and they say, wait a minute, there's something wrong here. And then they reread his review and they spot it. And they see why he gave it a 2-star. He didn't do his job. And it's very apparent. And so I leave it up. There are times that you may have a bad review, and it might be advisable for you to leave it up, because once the people realize why it's a bad review, it changes into a good review. And so it's just like shopping online for anything. You read those reviews, and you look at the good reviews, and then you choose. And if you decide that bad review is not true, it actually kind of in your mind, it transforms into a good review. So there we have it. I'm going to bring it to a close now. But for this particular, I want you to understand, you can have fun. It can be a lot of fun. Sometimes you can write things and make them fun. Sometimes in marketing, for instance, you can have. I had last year, 2023, I created the Grinch. Well, actually, I didn't create him. I stole the idea, obviously, and I was born out of frustration with a video I was working on, and it was so funny. I checked it with some other people, and they laughed at it, and so I used it in my advertising. I had fun with it. It came out of frustration, became fun, and it was just it was one of the most enjoyable series of videos I've ever done. So that's it for today. I'll see you in the next episode.